Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I just want to do a video on Newton and give you a bit of an outline of what's happened with this application. So I'm just going to make a cup of tea and then we'll start talking about it because it's been more of like a topic that needs a bit more context before we dive into the details. So guys, to start the tale off, I joined Newton or Cloud Magic back in September 2016 and I worked there for, I think it was roughly 2 years as a freelancer, finishing back in August or September of last year. Now, I really enjoyed my time as a freelancer working there, and I worked on a range of different projects, including marketing, PR, and also some of the videos as well that you may have seen on the YouTube channel and things like that. Now, the relationship was really nice, and we sort of, built up a good friendship. The team were based in Bangalore, and obviously me based in the UK. So it was quite nice, a really good relationship. So we obviously ended pretty mutually, and the agreement obviously stopped a month or two before they actually called it a day on Newton. So obviously they developed the product and were selling annual subscriptions, and we actually had at the time 40,000, I think it was, subscribers, which is public knowledge. And it seemed like we were doing well, but naturally they weren't able to monetize fully in making it profitable. So they called it a day and shut down to all of you guys. So just after that, I think it was in November, the company Essential, who is run by Andy Rubin, who is the Android founder, who used to previously work at Google, actually acquired Cloud Magic, and they naturally became part of that. During a period of time from when they were shut down to before they were getting acquired, I remember getting a lot of messages from you guys on email and also in the community and on Twitter asking, okay, Newton's not shut down properly. And I actually was curious about why that reason was. So I reached out to the team and I got nothing back from them. And some people left the company, so naturally I wasn't speaking to the right people. But a couple of weeks ago I got a message from their team saying that they were obviously returning with the application. So the news isn't anything dramatically different. Newton is now back out on all platforms. I believe they're available on Windows, Android, iOS, and also on Mac too. They have a few changes as well in this update, as well as a $49 price tag for the annual subscription, which when we were closing or finishing the service, we were actually on $99 per year. So it is back to its original pricing. I want to check a few things that they shared in their statement on the app stores. They said, we're thrilled to be back. If you still have your Newton account, use the same username and password. In the downtime, we made some little and big UX improvements that we are long pending on our roadmap. And here's the highlights. So you can now delete a single mail in a thread. You can resize the Mac Compose window, which is, I remember being a big thing. You can also add emails to OmniFocus things, To Do and Bear. And there's also better copy and paste abilities, as well as a few things more like Giphy links and things like that. Nothing dramatically different. But Newton is now back on the app stores, and I wanted to share a few of my personal thoughts about this. So being someone who worked with the team on the whole Newton project, I put a lot of time and effort into working with them. So I feel like I have a spot in my heart for these guys. Naturally, Newton was a great application in allowing you to do effective email. Since the actual Newton shutdown, I've moved from between two different applications. I did a 2.5 month stint with SparkMail, which is developed by Readle, and I also used an application, now using an application called Missive, which I'm finding a really effective tool for my work. Now, as many of you know, of course, I will be checking out Newton again, and I will be covering stories of them. And the main reason I didn't cover many email apps in the past is because I didn't necessarily want there to be some invested interest from me. And now I have no technical association apart from sponsors with email services. I can now freely range between these applications and give you my opinion. Now, Newton in its previous format was a great application, and I know and I can see many of you renewing some of your subscriptions as well, which I think is absolutely fine if you know that the package meets your needs. But for me, I necessarily won't be moving over. I found a good home on Missive at the moment. I've actually passed my sort of 2-month, 3-month period of time which I normally check an application, and it's going to take a bit more from Newton to actually beat that experience for me at the moment. And naturally it's going to take a bit of time if I'm going to check out everything. So I just wanted to share how I'm approaching this. I'm not necessarily going to jump straight across to it. You've got to remember as well that this application, although under a new name, is still the same application. So there's not been anything dramatically changed. Maybe they've been able to fine tune some of the technical processes and the expenses going out, but there's nothing saying this application might not shut down again. Not saying soon, because obviously this has been relaunched, but what I'm trying to get to you is you've got to have that in the back of your mind that there's been this sort of history between that. There's not many applications, please do let me know in the comments, that I know have shut down, come back, and have sort of kept a long cycle. So I'm really open to the reaction to this, and I know a lot of people will love this because it's a very cross-platform experience, and as many of you know, I was a big fan of Newton. So that's my thoughts. Obviously it's something that I would like to hear from you about. What do you think? Will you be jumping back on Newton? Have you changed your mind about the application in the last couple of months? It's only been 3 or 4, 5 months since the shutdown, so it'd be really great to hear. So please do share those in the comments below. Anyway guys, thank you so much for stopping by today. Hopefully it gave you all the insights that you need to know about Newton. And I wanted to share my opinion because many people were asking me, and I feel like I wanted to be as honest as I can be. Obviously the team did reach out to me a couple of weeks ago that they were redoing this, but I felt it was polite enough to not share that as public information. Especially because they mentioned this is private, and I tend to do that with companies if they're planning on a launch or something like this, because it's respectful on both sides. So guys, thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you have a great day. Please do comment below. I will be there to chat with you guys about Newton. All right, cheers guys.